Now, what is implicit differentiation? When you say implicit, it means hindi hayagan. Hindi hayagang sinasabi. Talking about a lot of variables. That into the natural logarithm, the inverse tangent function, logarithm base e. Ang inverse tangent function is the inverse of tangent. Kasi alam natin na ang tangent 45 ay 1. Ano ang angle pag ang tangent value is 1? Of course, the answer is 45. That process is called the inverse, and we call that one the arctangent. Arctangent of 1 is 45 degrees. So, dati, naghanap tayo ng value ng y-axis. Ngayon, kukunin natin ang value doon sa angle. Then, we are going to use implicit differentiation to solve problems, specifically for related rates. That will be the next lesson. What is implicit differentiation? Let's look at this. Y equals 4x to the 5th plus cosine of 2x minus 7. When you use chain rule, napakadali because you will get dy dx equals to 20x to the 4th plus sine of 2x negative, no? Minus sine 2x minus 7 times 2. Yun yung derivative. How about if you have x to the 5th plus y to the 5th equals 5? Isosolve pa natin ang y para magmukha siyang dito para maging dy dx. Pero pwede rin nating sabihin agad na i-differentiate na lang kaya natin. Na since ang y, we are looking for y, that means diretso that the y is dy dx. May mga books din nagsabing pag sa x dx, pag sa y dy. Pero dito, I will encourage you to use this concept na pag sa y, lagyan talaga ng dy dx. Pag sa x, wala nang ilalagay. It's because, we write thus dx dx, which is 1. So, it means, i-derive natin, this is 2x. Yan, 2x lang. Ang y squared ay 2y dy dx. Bakit may dy dx? Kasi ang y nga ang kinukuha. That is the process of implicit. Given this, y cubed plus 4y squared plus 3x squared plus 10. Kaya? Of course not. Napakahirap isolve ang y. Pero kung iditso natin siya, what if kung ito na lang ay 3y squared dy dx, ito 8y dy dx, ito 6x, ito ay 0. Pwede. Yung mga dy dx na lang ay isosolve mo. Pwede yun. Ito, pag isosolve natin ang y, napakahirap kasi nandito siya. We are looking for the arc cosine of the cube of the quantity na this one. Kahirap. So, to do that one, we have the concept of the implicit differentiation. Implicit differentiation is you are going to use, differentiate, derive a lot of variables. The derivative of x squared is 2x. Yan. The derivative of y squared is 2y dy dx. Diba? X squared, 2x lang. Bakit wala na siya? Because dx dx yun. Ito, 2y dy dx. Kasi in terms of y in terms of x. Yan. Ang dy dx, it doesn't mean dy divided by x, ha? Or d times y. Ang dy is isang term talaga yan siya. dy dx, the derivative of y in terms of x. Ito naman, kung ating, common sense, magiging derivative of x in terms of x. So, dx dx, 1 pa rin. More generally, if we have the function f of y, where y is a function of x, then the derivative of f of y is d dx. The derivative of y is d dy dx. Okay. So, in order to master implicit differentiation, you must be able to review and master the chain rule. Example, you've got y squared equals 4x. We have this parabola, and we are going to find ano kaya ang pattern ng slope, because the first derivative will give you the pattern or the equation of the slope. So, ano kaya ang pattern ng slope pag ganyan siya, opening to the right? Ang gagawin ay derivative ng y squared. Of course, you've got 2y dy dx. Derivative ng 4x, 4. Okay. So, para makuha natin ang dy dx, we divide this one by 2y. Divide by 2y. So, ang mangyari, that becomes 4 over 2y. Kasi makakancel ang y dito. Ang 2. And we've got dividing by 2, you've got 2 over y. So, this is the typical in implicit differentiation, which is 2 over y is the pattern of the slope. So, kung ano ang y, yun na yung slope. Long x, no? Yeah. walang x. Hindi siya kasali si x. Next is find the slope of the tangent line to the circle x squared plus y squared equals 5 at the point negative 2, 1. So, may point tayo. Alam natin ang negative 2 ay x, ang 1 ay y. So, if we have this one, 2x, yan, clear. 2y dy dx, yan, equals 0. Then, solve for dy dx. So, itong mga 2x dito, walay dy dx, ilipat sa kabila. So, that becomes 2y dy dx equals negative 2x. Divided by 2y, you've got negative 2x over 2y. Divide 2, you've got negative x over y. So, it means, ang ibig sabihin ng negative x over y, kung ano daw ang x divided by y, the negative of this, yun na yung slope ng tangent line. Wow, that's amazing. So, it means makukuha natin kung ang slope ng ating tangent line sa negative 2, sa 1, kukunin natin yon, you will get this slope of 2. Why? Because negative of negative 2 over 1, that is positive 2 over 1, that is 2 by substitution. That's very great. Now, find dy dx of this, y cubed plus 4y squared plus 3x squared y plus 10 equals 0. Then, ito yung ating function, which is equated to 0. And then, we are going to find the derivative. Ano kaya ang pattern ng slope? Okay, to do that one, simply, this is 3y squared dy dx, 8y dy dx. Yan, ito na. This is a product rule. So, copy, derivative, plus derivative, copy. So, copy mo na 3x squared, derivative of y, 1. Since, in terms of y, lagyan natin na ng dy dx. So, that means 3x squared dy dx. Ayan siya. Now, ito naman ay i-derive. Ito na naman ang kukopyahin. So, this is 6x times y. Oh, yan. Wala siyang dy dx kasi in terms of x siya. Plus 0 equals 0. And then, you've got 3y squared, dy dx, 8y. Then, if a-factor ang dy dx, yun siya. This is 3y squared, 8y plus 3x squared. Yan. Ito, ililipat sa kabila. That is negative 6xy. Pagkatapos ng lipat, i-divide lahat ng 3y squared plus 8y plus 3x squared. Divide ng 3y squared plus 8y plus 3x. Yan ay ang result. Negative 6xy over 3y squared plus 8y plus 3x squared. Given a point, makukuha natin ang slope of that tangent line. So that's why this is very important. Why? Because if ang ating function, lalo na pag sa real life situation, kung projectile siya, for example, pattern or ang equation na dinadaanan ng isang missile ay in terms of function na hindi natin alam. Maybe it be a cubic na pag ganyan-ganyan, then pag ganyan, kasi meron na tayong mga hypersonic ngayon. So, napaka-complicated. Still, makuha pa rin yung, mahit pa rin siya using the function of the implicit differentiation. Kaya pa rin ma-identify kung saan siya banda, at the same time, ano ang kanyang slope at that, ano ang possible na para maigo ang aton ng example, mag-create tayo ng anti-missile. That's a theory actually. Okay. Pero that is the function, that is the concept. Pero marami pa tayong isipin, of course, regarding the patent, regarding the construction. Example 3, find dy dx for x plus y cubed equals e to the xy raised to the power of 4. So, ang gagawin natin dito is simply, the derivative of x is 1. Ayan siya. Derivative of y cubed is 3y squared dy dx. Ay, Diyod, kalimti si dy dx basta sa y. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x. But the problem is, since we are using the chain rule, that means, ang derivative pa ng xy to the fourth. So, dalawa. Ang derivative ng xy to the fourth ay copy, derivative plus derivative copy. So, it means, the derivative of xy to the fourth ay ito, 4xy cubed, 4y cubed times x. Yan, dy dx kasi in terms of y. Plus, ito ay 1y to the fourth. Then, lahat ng dy dx kabila, lahat ng walang dy dx kabila. Then, you have negative 1 plus e to the xy to the fourth times y to the fourth all over 2y squared minus e raised to the power of xy to the fourth times 4xy cubed. Any question? Just comment below. Derivatives of natural logarithm and inverse tangent function. Ito ay napakasimple pero useful Pero pag hindi mo siya sundan, malilito ka talaga. Be careful. So, when we have y equals ln x, ang ibig sabihin nito ay, alam natin this is a logarithm, base e. So, kung ita-transfer natin ito, it becomes base e, exponent equals x. So, e to the y equals x. Di ba? Kasi ang base ay magiging base. Ang y na naging result ay maging exponent. And then, ang resulting is x. Okay. So, that becomes e to the y equals x. Then, kung atin siya ito kasi ang ating function. Ito yung inverse. And this one is the inverse of this, and this one is the inverse of that, because that one is the inverse of the other. Now, that is e to the y dy dx cos 1. Then, solving for dy dx, that is 1 over e to the y. Now, what is e to the y? Alam natin ang e to the y ay equals x. No? So, palitan natin ito ng x para magbalik doon. And you will get 1 over x. So, that means the derivative of ln x is 1 over x. That's it. When we have y equals tangent to the negative 1 of x, or say y equals the arctan of x, ano kaya ang kanyang derivative? You know that kanina, sabi natin na ang y equals arctan of x, ang ibig sabihin niyan that the tangent y equals x. Yeah, that's it. The tangent y equals x. And remember that the derivative of tangent is equals to secant squared. So it means the tangent y, the derivative is secant squared y dy dx. And the derivative of x is 1. That means dividing by secant squared both sides, you get 1 over secant squared y. Remember also that we have the trigonometric identity or the Pythagorean identity of a trigonometric function that tangent squared x plus 1 is equals to secant squared x, or secant squared x equals 1 plus tangent squared x. So meaning itong secant squared x ay pwede nating palitan ng 1 plus tangent squared y. But we know that tangent squared y is equals to x squared kasi ang tangent y equals x. Therefore, tangent squared y equals x squared. That means this is equivalent to y plus x squared. So that's why the derivative of arctan of x is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Clear? Okay, good. Now, we have two results that the ln of u is equals to 1 over u times du dx, or the ln of x is 1 over x, and the arctan of u is 1 over 1 plus c squared times du dx, or the derivative of arctan x is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Now, let's have this example. Ito ay ln of 7x squared minus 3x plus 1. Alam natin na pag ln, it means 1 over yung laman. So, it means, ang derivative nito ay 1 over 7x squared minus 3x plus 1 times, kasi according sa chain rule, uubusin natin. So, ubusin natin yung derivative pa nito. The derivative of this is 14x minus 3. So, the derivative of ln of 7x squared minus 3x plus 1 is 14x minus 3 all over 7x squared minus 3x plus 1. Yun po siya. Non-letter B naman, ito medyo mahirap konti kasi merong cosine dito. Okay. But we know that the derivative of arctan is 1 over 1 plus u squared. So, it means 1 over 2x minus 3 cos squared. Squared. Quantity squared yun ha. Plus 1. Times the derivative of these 2. The derivative of this is negative sign. X times 3. Okay? So, yun po yung result. How about this one? Oh my God. The combination of the 3. 4x plus. The arctan of ln x is 1 over 4x plus arctan of ln of x. Yun yung sa ln pa lang yun, sa labas. Next, times the derivative of this, which is 4. Plus, the derivative of arctan. Alam naman natin arctan is 1 over 1 plus u squared. So, that means 1 plus 1 ln x squared. Ano pang derivative na ln x? Times 1 over x. This is the answer. Find dy dx for cosine y squared minus 3 equals the arctan of x cubed plus ln of y. So, ang gagawin natin is ang derivative ng cosine. Ang derivative ng cosine ay negative sign. negative sign of u, which is y squared minus 3, times the derivative of y squared minus 3, which is 2y, equals the derivative of arctan of x cubed is 1 over 1 plus x cubed raised to the power of 2, or 1 plus x to the 6, yung denominator, times 3x squared pa. Bakit? Kasi meron pang derivative ng x cubed, which is 3x squared. And the derivative of ln y is 1 over y. Wow! That's it. So, the differentiate, negative sign, y squared minus times 3, then the derivative of y squared is 2y dy dx. Derivative of arctan of this is 1 over 1 plus x cubed raised to the power of 2. Derivative of x cubed is 3x squared, plus the derivative of 1 over y times 1. And then we have itong 1 over y dy dx ilipat sa kabila. Ayan siya, minus na. Ito ay copy lang, negative 2y sin y squared minus 3. And then ito ay maging 3x squared over 1 plus x to the 6. I-divide natin siya sa negative 2y sin y squared minus 3 minus 1 over y, both sides. Then you will get 3x squared over 1 plus x to the 6 all over negative 2y sin y squared minus 3 minus 1 over y. And that is your dy dx. Clear? Thank you. And say for example, find dy dx. Kaya pa? Of arctan of y, which is equals to 3x squared y minus the square root of the ln of x minus y squared. Wow! So first of all, the derivative of arctan is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Yan siya. So 1 over 1 plus y squared dy dx, kasi in terms of y na yan siya. Ito naman ay derivative ng 3x squared y. So copy derivative dy dx, yan siya. Then derivative copy dx dx, or wala na. So that is 6x squared or 6xy. Kasi derivative copy. Ayun siya. Then ito naman ay power rule. 1/2 copy 1 minus 1/2 or 1/2 minus 1. That is negative 1/2. And then ito dito times the derivative na sa loob. Ang derivative na nasa loob ay 1 over x minus y squared. Derivative of x is 1. Derivative of y squared is 2y dy dx. Then, distribute, then you have this. Okay. So, ang mangyayari, ang lahat ng dy dx dito, got dy dx, and then, i-distribute ito. Okay. So, this is ln of x minus y squared raised to the power of negative 1/2, and then over 2 x minus y squared. So ayan siya, minumultiply na siya. Okay. Then ito, i-multiply na naman ito dito sa dy dy. So itong 1 ang minumultiply dito lahat. Yan, kasali ang 1. Then, ito na naman silang lahat, i-multiply naman dito sa 2y dy. So, that is 2y times 2, that is y, ln of x minus y squared to the power of negative 1/2 over x minus y squared dy dx. And then, isi-simplify natin ito. And you will get lahat ng dy dx sa kabila, lahat ng walang dy dx sa kabila din. And then, dy dx, ito ay negative 3x squared. Ito ay magiging negative y ln of x minus y to the power of negative 1/2 over x minus y squared is equals to, ito ay sa kabilang side, and then minus ln of x minus y squared raised to the power of negative 1/2 over 2x minus y squared. Clear? Then, i-divide natin itong lahat sa napakahabang 1 plus 1 plus y squared minus 3x squared minus y ln of x minus y squared raised to the power of negative 1/2 over x minus y squared. Ayun! And this is the result, which is 6x minus y minus the quotient of ln minus x squared, x minus y squared raised to the power of negative 1/2 over 2 minus y squared all over 1 over 1y plus y squared minus 3x squared minus y ln x. Ito na yan. Ang haba. Now, your assignment is to find the derivative with respect to x. Kindly comment your answer or kindly post your answer down below. Thank you. We have arctan of x squared minus ln of 2x plus 3 is equals to 4 cosine cube of 2y plus 5. Find the derivative of that. Of course, ang derivative nito ay 1 over 1 plus x to the 4th times 2x. Huwag kalimutan talaga ang 2x. Kasi ang derivative ng x squared ay 2x. Ito naman, ang derivative dito ay 1 over 2x plus 3 times 2. Kasi may derivative pa ng 2. Ang derivative nito ay 4. Ito ay 4 times 3 cosine of 2y plus 5 raised to the power of 2 times the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine. Negative sine of 2y plus 5 times negative 2. Ayan. Okay. So, these are your enrichment. Okay. Derivatives of other transcendental functions. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Derivative of ln of x is 1 over x. And the arctan of x is 1 over 1 plus x squared.